Welcome everyone to another Ref Brandon and the Todd Family YouTube video. Wherever you are, whatever you may be doing, thank you so much for making Ref Brandon and the Todd Family part of your day. We always greatly appreciate. If you jump on here live here on this Sunday evening, feel free to leave a comment in the comment section down below. Make sure to give the video a like, a thumbs up. If you have not yet subscribed, please do so and share the video on all social media platforms. Tonight's video is going to be about college football, and college football. So if you have any thoughts about college football, feel free to jump in. The conversation was going to come on here earlier today and talk college football, and I thought, you know what? I've got a wrestling show, so I'll just do it when I get home. But I do have some comments that occurred at the wrestling show that I'll get to in a few minutes. Good evening, Keveron. It's good to have you here. As always, thanks for commenting and thanks for stopping by the channel. But yesterday, we had a lot of games that on paper looked like they would be good games. And of course, some of them end up being good games, and then some of them end up not being good games. And then you have some games that on paper don't appear that they'll be good games, but end up being good games. But had a lot of good games yesterday on into early this morning if you're on the East Coast or if you're on Central Time. But we also had college football this week on Wednesday night and Thursday night, and as always, on Friday night. So just some of the games from Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. We had Tulane beat East Carolina 26-9. Southern Miss over Georgia Southern 38-35. Hey there, Ronan. Glad to have you here. Washington over Rutgers 38-19. The Huskies are now quietly 5-1. Like nobody's even talking about them, but they're 5-1. Hey there, Cat's Eye. Glad to have you here. Liberty defeats UTEP 19-8. And South Florida defeats North Texas 63-36. A lot of people think that South Florida will be the group of 5 team that goes to a playoff berth this year if they keep winning, but I still think it's either going to be Memphis or Navy. But South Florida is probably third in line if one of those two or both of those two lose, now that you can count Army out. And you can definitely count Boise State out. And now on to the games from yesterday. Ohio State just continues to have a defense that you almost can't score on. They beat Illinois 34-16. Pittsburgh defeats Florida State 34-31, a back-and-forth game. I thought Florida State might pull it out. They didn't. And, you know, I said before the season they were a 6-6 team, and it's looking like that's probably about what they're going to end up being. But everybody got so excited when they beat Alabama. But I think we can figure out now that, yeah, it was a good win for Florida State, but it didn't mean that they're a good football team, because they're not. They're just an average football team. The reason why they won that game is because you got to think about it. It was Gus Malzahn's first game calling plays for Florida State's offense. So Alabama had no film to watch because Gus Malzahn wasn't there last year. Plus, Castellanos wasn't there last year. So you can't watch any Florida State Castellanos film because he was at Boston College last year, and the offense that Florida State's going to run is not what Boston College ran. So Alabama goes into that game having no film on Castellanos at Florida State and no film on Malzahn at Florida State. So I think it's pretty obvious by now that's why Florida State won that game. Hey there, DK. Glad to have you here, and I hate to hear that. Man, hopefully you won't let it get you down, but I hate to hear that. A lot of people go through those, and my parents got divorced when I was, I think, 6, but it never affected me, so hopefully it won't affect you either, but I do hate to hear that. I've actually been through a divorce myself, but good luck to you, and again, I hate to hear of that. But Florida State, I think I saw, has lost like 8 or 9 straight conference games, and half of them have been at home. So Mike Norvell's going to have to figure out pretty quick how to win in the conference, because it don't matter if you beat Alabama and Florida every year. Yeah, if Bama's good and Florida's good, those are going to be good wins. But having a terrible conference record is going to affect you more than having those two big non-conference wins, especially when you play way more conference games than you do non-conference games. But SMU dominates Stanford 34-10, and that game's important because my Clemson Tigers play SMU next week. And DK, glad to have you here all the way from Ireland. And Salmon, thank you for being here as well. And I'm assuming you were asking DK where he was from, and that's why he said Ireland. Cincinnati defeats Central Florida, and Cincinnati, just like Washington, is a quiet 5-1. And I will come back in a few minutes. We'll talk some more college football.